Hey Pranav, how are you?
Doing good, Alan. How you doing?
Good, good. It's great to connect. How are things going?
Doing great. Good morning. Off to a good start. Just finished up a couple of meetings, and yeah, excited to share our story at Winklix.
Love it, love it. So why don't we start from the beginning? Why don't you walk us through your background, how you got into the Salesforce ecosystem, how you started your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a born entrepreneur. I've started numerous companies across various industries in the past. A lot, on the SaaS side. With healthcare and ed tech, I found myself really drawn to IT services, IT consulting, and more specifically the Salesforce ecosystem, because I was absolutely fascinated with Agentforce and how Salesforce has really been at the forefront of agentic AI and just sort of bringing those products to clients. So, my journey within the Salesforce ecosystem itself, I was COO of a small systems integrator, and I, led their North American operations. And a few months ago, I joined. Another Salesforce SI called Winklix. Winklix is a bit of a Swiss Army knife within the Salesforce platform. We specialize in data cloud and revenue cloud. And Agentforce applications across the healthcare and financial services industries, along with a number of other technology platforms that we work with. Winklix is a global company. We have 5 offices across the globe. We have 250 professionals, founded in 2014. We have almost a decade or over a decade of experience serving customers like IBM and Toyota, and Accenture. So, as far as it goes, we have a really great standing within the Salesforce ecosystem, and yeah, I'm proud to be representing as chief executive, and I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to capitalize on within the Agentforce platform today.
Love it. No, that's an amazing background. So I'm excited to be diving more. So right now you touch into Agentforce and Agentic. Where do you see the biggest opportunities in the Salesforce ecosystem? What are you excited about? What are you trying to look forward in the future?
Yeah, I think some of the biggest opportunities today have been, industry specific solutions. Salesforce over the past, several decades has become the backbone of customer engagement. But I think clients want more than, traditional CRM. They want platforms that are tailored to healthcare and financial services or, sort of more relevant to, my background, public sector, enterprise software. And I think SIs, if you're able to bring that deep vertical expertise and layer into Salesforce with AI, automation, data insights, that's really where the real value gets created.
Awesome. And in terms of challenges, what do you think are some challenges that company might face when adopting either Salesforce at scale or trying to do their first steps in AI and Agentforce in particular?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the technology itself isn't usually the problem. It's change management. Large enterprises, they underestimate the culture and process shifts required. If the leadership isn't aligned, then the adoption process really suffers. So another challenge is, data. We're bringing together a bunch of siloed systems into Salesforce, and that takes a lot of discipline and a lot of long-term thinking. So those are just a few of the challenges I see, as an implementation partner. And then, there's also the part of adapting to these rapid AI and automation changes. And we're seeing, new developments across CRM and ERP platforms. And, it's really our job as a SI and a multi-ecosystem partner to stay at the forefront of these.
Love it. And how do you think about differentiating yourself? Salesforce, some of the criticism is that it can be a very crowded market. There's over 5,000 plus SI. So how do you guys differentiate yourself from others?
Absolutely. That's a very true statement. It's a very concentrated market. There's a lot of SIs that have been around for many, many years. And I think in the years to come there will be, tons more that sort of spin off. But we treat Salesforce implementations not just as, an IT project, but as a business transformation. We really focus on, the outcomes. How can we, create a better customer experience? We utilize really fast, sales cycles. Um, compliance, and rather than just those traditional features, we want to see it how we can rethink how that existing client will work, right? And rather just than see Salesforce as another system.
Got it. So in terms of, you mentioned business outcomes. So when you're thinking about ROI, what are some of the outcomes you expect your Salesforce projects to deliver or your engagements to deliver? How do you measure that, and how do you what results do you expect?
Yeah. So we look at about three different factors. It's about revenue lift, cost reduction, and customer satisfaction. And so Salesforce can help close deals faster or automate manual work, and overall improve the general customer journey. That ROI sort of takes care by itself for the customer.
Love it. I love that those three approaches were always kind of looking at the same. Everything we do for clients, either they need to help drive revenue or they need to help reduce costs or improve customer satisfaction. So I think that's spot on. In terms of the Salesforce specialization, do you see any industries or clouds that you think are under leveraging Salesforce right now?
Yeah, absolutely. The ones that I see, on my desk are manufacturing and energy. I think both have extremely complex ecosystems of suppliers, have numerous partners and customers, and many of those stakeholders still run on legacy systems. Salesforce can truly unify those ecosystems or bring modern customer experience, I think, to industries that haven't historically been customer centric. So yeah, so to summarize it, manufacturing and energy are some of the most uh, 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 or some of the industries that are severely under leveraging Salesforce at the moment.
Got it. And in terms of advising someone entering the Salesforce ecosystem today, I mean, you started your own companies, you've been at leadership roles at different SIs. So if you were advising a new funder entering the Salesforce ecosystem, what would you tell them to focus on in the beginning?
Yeah, I would say find your niche, right? So if it's either data cloud and revenue cloud for healthcare, or if you're catering exclusively to the public sector, I would say just really focus on one hyper specialization. Don't try to be everything to everyone. You really just want to pick an industry or a capability where you can be the best. And as you advance and as you grow, then you can build depth. The Salesforce ecosystem, as I've seen, has tremendously rewarded specialization and thought leadership within one very specific service provided.
Got it. And in terms of fostering collaboration, how do you collaborate with other sites? How do you foster collaboration in the ecosystem?
Yeah, I think one of the most critical relationships that we have as SIs are with account executives. A lot of our business is generated through working with AEs across the Salesforce ecosystem. Within those various industries, they've become our partners in our business, right? They're more than just an account manager and account executive. They become partners. They become your driving sort of factor of success. So we don't really collaborate that much with other SIs in terms of along the waterfall of outsourcing. I often say that one of my most cherished relationships are with Salesforce AEs, because they're what makes or breaks your business, for sure.
Got it. And let's stay for a minute outside of the Salesforce ecosystem. What are some trends? I don't know, like AI, data, customer experience, maybe like government regulation that you think will be shaping the ecosystem in the future?
I mean, just what you said, right? AI and regulation. I think AI will redefine how customer engagement happens, and data privacy laws will play a key role in defining how companies can use Salesforce. Navigating those two forces will shape the next decade of the Salesforce ecosystem. And so I think those are the two things that you really want to focus at the moment. If you're an emerging SI or an established, it's going to be how can we utilize AI and sort of stay on top of what are the new data privacy laws and government regulations like GDPR and CCPA, and how we can utilize that in our business.
Got it. And in terms of your personal leadership, what are some lessons you learn over the years trying to implement Salesforce at scale and at an enterprise level?
Yeah, I think one of the, I mean, I've been at, many, many different companies, and, companies from, all sizes, right? Startups to, businesses, with hundreds of employees. And I think one of the most important things that I've learned is that technology follows culture. If you don't bring your people along, even the best Salesforce build will fail, right? You need to have people and stakeholders that are thoroughly invested in the implementation of this business transformation technology, right? So one piece of advice for anybody that's in the ecosystem is bring your people with you, and then everything else will fall into place.
Love it. And to close, what are some things you're excited about the future of the Salesforce ecosystem?
There's so many new things, and I think some of the things I look at today is AI, data, and sort of the overall customer experience. We're moving toward a world where every customer interaction is intelligent, it's predictive, and it's personalized at a massive scale. Salesforce is at the center of that shift, and generally just being part of it is incredibly exciting to me.
Love it. Love it. Pranav, this been great. I love the insights. Anything else you'd like to share with our audience before we wrap up?
No, I think you had some really spot on questions. Overall, I think it's going to be very interesting to see in even the next couple of months. How the ecosystem will evolve. I think there's a lot of adoption from SIs to be ahead of the services as a software era that people are looking at now. So that's really where my eye is, and how we can create AI enabled service delivery. I think there are a lot of new code transformation agents and AI Salesforce admins and all sorts of very new and interesting, shiny objects. And I think I definitely like to see in a couple months, those are still around and how SIs are able to adopt that into technology and create the ultimate customer experience.
Awesome. This has been great, Pranav. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Alan.
Have a good one.